welcome you and thank you for coming. Also a reminder to please silence your cell phones. That looks like we will be recording this session. We'd like to welcome Kendor Shy. He's originally from Kentucky. And now he lives in Shelila, Washington, where he has a wife and 4 children. And he runs the ARC Outpost, Lifestyle Center, and Gospel Medical Missionary
Training.
School.
Yes.
Okay, welcome Kendor, and your topic today is?
Disease and kitchen remedies.
Kitchen remedies.
Yes, disease and kitchen remedies. All right. So we're going to get started because this always seems to take a lot of time, and we only have an hour, and it's very short. This class only takes anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours, all right? So just so you know, it's hard to see the screen, so every now and then I may flick the light off so you can see what's up there so you can read the notes, okay? All right. So, I think for the introduction, it's such a blessing to be here and to be able to share these things that God has given us such simple things that confound the wise, okay? Simple means, that's how God is. He said he uses the foolish things of the world to confound those who think they are wise, right? And so a lot of people, doctors and that's in the mainstream line of medicine, they have a hard time believing in these things because they never studied these things. They haven't studied nutrition, you know, and so the effects of food upon the body and how it can heal. Everything that we need in whatever region of the world, God has put it there that we can use to help treat the body. The body comes from the dust of the ground, and the same thing that these plants and stuff, these trees, they come from the earth as well. The same elements that's in the dirt we're made out of. So we need the same nutrients, and the healing properties in these foods bring healing upon our bodies. All right, so I personally like to pray before I get started because I need God's help in everything that I do because I don't want to mess up, all right? So, loving Father, we thank you that we have this blessed opportunity to be here, and we ask that you teach us all, even me, during this time. May your Holy Spirit guide us in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Okay, so, like I said, I'll be turning off the light every now and then. So, we heard this. Anybody know who Hippocrates is? Anybody know who he is? Have you ever heard of his statement? This right here says, let thy food be thy medicine, and let thy medicine be thy food. Anybody heard that? Yes. Is he the originator of this? Is anything that man has done is really originally the originator? No. We must understand there's only 2 things in this world. There's only good and evil, and all good comes from God. All right? So therefore, God has given us food for medicine. Why is it now that He's given us food for medicine? I'm going to talk about that in a minute. It says, food is your medicine. Psalms 104:14. It says, he causes the grass to grow for the cattle and the herbs for the service of man. Okay? That he may bring forth food out of the earth. The word service literally means to minister in Hebrew. Okay? So therefore, God had brought the herbs of the field to bring healing to our bodies. Now, why do we need healing? God originally created us to live forever. But we had those people who decided, Adam and Eve decided to fall short of God's glory and sin. And now he says, the day you eat of, you shall surely die. And so the body began to decay. But God in his mercy gave us something to sustain us. And he gave us the herbs of the field. When you read in Genesis chapter 1, verse 29, he says, I have given you every herb-bearing seed, every fruit-bearing seed that has a seed within itself. So the food was fruits. It wasn't even vegetables yet. The vegetables came later after he told Adam that now you must eat the herbs of the field because of what he done. The herbs represents the vegetable kingdom. And the reason being, which one thing about the dark leafy green vegetables, they are 99.9% identical to the composition of the human blood. Missing one component. Anybody know what that is? Nobody know? It is iron. That's the only thing that's missing. You can literally do a blood transfusion with chlorophyll. Have you seen people have these chlorophyll shots, wheatgrass and so forth? They're always small. They pack a lot of nutrients and a lot of oxygen. If you drink too much, if you drink a quart jar of it, and before you go to sleep, it would knock you off your feet and you will pass out, and guess what will happen? In the morning, you'll wake up with a blood transfusion. Wow. But I don't recommend drinking that much at one time. You know, you need chlorophyll. God never really intended for us to do juicing. That's why he gave us teeth. Okay? Juicing is good. There's a time and place for everything under the sun. Juicing is for when you need to heal the body. Okay? Because when you are sick, when disease come upon the body is spending so much energy trying to heal itself. But when you feed it solid substance food, most of the energy is going to breaking down that food now. Have you ever ate and all of a sudden you just, tired, yarning? Because, you know why? Because the blood has drawn down from the brain and start working on the food that's in your stomach, okay? And so that is what is happening. But when juicing, your body spends less time digesting the food because it's now just a liquid form. Yes, you have removed the fiber, but the elements that are in the juice will get into the system rather quickly. All right? It would get in there quickly, and we would, and the healing process begin to take place. There are certain herbs, there are certain combination of things you put together for certain diseases. Like we have a certain juice formula for cancer. We have a certain juice formula for diabetes. We have a certain juice formula for arthritis. Different things, Not everything is one size fit all, okay? And so that's what we must understand. Food is for our medicine. It says, and by the rivers upon the banks thereof, and on this side and on that side shall all trees for meat, whose leaves shall, I can't read that up there, I don't know if anybody can. Anybody can read that? All right, shall not wither because of what? I can't read it.
Shall not fade.
Shall not fade. Because if you turn around, somebody right there can read that on the screen for me. Anybody can do that?
Fruit thereof be consumed.
Can you read on the screen right there behind you?
It's right behind you. And by the river upon the bank thereof, on this side and on that side, shall grow all trees for meat, whose leaves shall not fade, neither shall the fruit thereof be consumed. It shall bring forth new fruit according to his months, because their waters they issued out of the sanctuary, and the fruit thereof shall be for meat, and the leaf thereof for medicine. Okay, so the fruit thereof shall be for meat, and the meat thereof shall be for medicine. This is talking about future. This is talking about in the new heavens and new earth. But the leaves shall be for the healing of the nations. We need healing. We've been steeped in sin for so long that God wants to restore us back into his image and what he looks like. We have lost that image of pure righteousness that Adam and Eve had. But he's given us food for medicine. And that is the true food. So Hippocrates is not the originator of let thy food be thy medicine be thy food, all right? All right, I hope we don't have to go through this the whole time. It says disease is an effort of nature, okay? It's an effort of nature to free the system from conditions that result from the violation of the laws of health. In case of sickness, the disease should be what? Ascertained. You know, Job said, he says, I was a father to the poor, and the cause which I knew not, I searched it out. He looked, why he wasn't satisfied with being a father to the poor, but he says, I need to find out why. Every disease has a cause. If you want to treat the disease, find out the cause. Your cure is in the cause. Okay? And that's the thing that times you go to doctors, they sit down, they talk with you, they're not getting to the root cause. You often hear them say, well, the cause is unknown. You know, but there's always a cause. There's a cause for the cancer. There's a cause why you got the tumor. It's why you end up getting fibroids or whatever it may be. There is an underlying cause for it. And so we must search it out. The Bible says, as a bird by wandering, as a swallow by flying, a curse causeless shall not come. It says, just as it's natural for a swallow to fly around and the birds to fly, it's natural for a disease or a curse come with a cause. Everything has a cause, and we must find out what it is. Because in that, we have the cure. Now, let's get into some of these remedies here, okay? And I'm here to tell you right now, these remedies, they work. Proven and tried. We run a lifestyle center in Chihuahua. We own 100 acres out there. We have a 10,000 square foot home where we run a health lifestyle center where people come in to our place and they stay either for 4 days, a week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks. And also we recently about to start in June running a 10-day detox program. I'll tell you about that more later. You can get the information from my booth out here at the Ark Outpost. But people come. We had people come with COVID. We had people come with hypothyroid. We had people come with prostate cancer. People that was overweight. And we use natural treatments to bring them back to a state where they can function and be healthy. And they work. And also, you got to understand,
that is also according to your faith. Okay? What do you believe is going to work? And so the man that was laying there for 30 years and couldn't walk, he says, take up thy bed and walk. If he didn't get up by faith, he wouldn't have walked. He would have been stuck in that same position. All right, so this right here is called a smooth move, a bowel regulator. Anybody ever had problems going to the bathroom? We ain't gonna be ashamed in here. We have been constipated. There's signs that know that you are constipated. One, if water splashes on your backside when you go to the toilet. Okay? You're constipated. If your stool, your bowel movement is not more than 8 inches in length, you're constipated. Where is the rest of the food? You ate quite a bit. Okay? If it's dry, you're constipated. All right? What are some things that cause constipation? It could be stress. You could be eating during a time you're angry and upset or disgruntled about something, not happy. You could be eating off schedule. Okay? The body likes regularity. Regularity. And it wants to eat at the same time every day. When you don't eat at the same time every day, you throw off the system and the system doesn't purge itself properly. Okay, so it needs to purge itself properly. So if you have a breakfast and you set it at 7 a.m., you eat at 7 a.m. every day. If you have a lunch at 2 o'clock, you eat at lunch at 2 o'clock every day. So you want to have regularity in what you are doing. All right? So it's such a blessing that God has put time on the body. Also, just to give you, welcome everyone. So just to give you an example, I'm going to give you eating in between meals also causes digestive issues. It also causes fermentation, smelly stool. Okay? I know many of us have had smelly stool. Let's not be ashamed. All right? We have had that. This is time that our body needs to be on a regular schedule. It needs to purge itself. And that's something that we need to do. It says we need to assist nature in the past quote that we read. Assist it. That means you give it things it needs to help get rid of the disease. Okay? So if you have a fever, let me ask you a question. If you have a fever, what should you do?
Don't you starve a fever? Cold?
Say it again.
Starve a fever?
Okay, you
That's what I heard.
you starve a fever. Okay, anybody else?
Hydrotherapy.
Hydrotherapy is good.
No, that's the best.
Okay.
Hot and cold.
Hot and cold is good. Now, if you have a fever, should you put the fire out? No, the fever is there for a reason. The body is trying to burn out the virus that's there. The best thing to do is to heat up the body more. Okay? You can do a steam bath, a fever treatment. You always keep the head cool so it doesn't get overheated because you don't want to overheat the brain. So you keep an ice cold rag on your head at all times. You change out every 2 minutes. But you heat up the body to at least about 102 to 104. You want to assist nature. So if you are sneezing, if you're in a place like this, yes, cover your mouth. But normally you got an open out in there, you got to let it out. The body's trying to get what's in there out. Your nose is running. You don't sniff it in and suck it down your throat. You got to blow it out. The body is capsulating the virus and trying to get rid of it. It's coming out through your nose, coming out through your mouth, or however it may come out, so forth. All right, same thing. If you, we'll talk about it in another one. But, so, ingredients. 1 cup pitted prunes. 2 tablespoons of flax seeds. So you have prunes here. Anybody like prunes? Mm-hmm. Okay, prunes are good, but you can make this. And you have 3 cups of unsweetened prune juice. You blend it together in a blender, and you can make it thick, or you can make it like a smoothie. Some people have made it. They spread it on their toast. This will help move the bowels. The flax seed is a form of this is fiber as well. Got some good omega-3s in it as well, which your body likes. You want that also. I want to make this mention. Some of these things I'm doing here is in our book. My wife and I did. It's called Disease and Kitchen Remedies. You can purchase this at 2 locations. One over here at our booth, and one at the another booth where it's probably most of the books you'll probably see on one table out in the hall, home of publishing. Okay, so it's in the book. So this is gonna help regulate, help smooth the bowels. Now, but I want to say this, and I want to say this because these natural remedies, you can treat them just like medication. You want to ascertain the cause. You just be treating symptoms. If you don't stop doing what you're doing to cause your body to continue to be sick, what point is it? Mm-hmm. So you don't want to do that. Yes, they don't have the side effects that you get from synthetic drugs. The body does not like things that are chemicals. this is why you have side effects, because the body doesn't know what to do with it, so it puts it and store those chemicals in another place of the body, and it's trying to get rid of it. That which it can't purges out, because maybe your 7 channels of elimination are clogged somehow. Maybe your bowels are blocked up. Maybe your lymphs are clogged. Maybe your kidneys aren't functioning properly. Maybe your lungs are not functioning properly. Your skin, your pores are clogged. Those are eliminating, where you eliminate toxins out of the body. And so therefore, what you want to do is you want to open up those 7 channels of elimination. But those synthetic chemicals they have in drugs, the body stores it somewhere else, and then you have another problem. And then you need another medication for that. And then you're going to need a medication for this one. Then you're going to need another medication for this one. You know, and it goes on and on. Drugs do not heal. Okay, I just wanted to make that clear. Onion tea. This is good for bronchitis and asthma. Okay, you just simply take an onion, and you chop the onion, and you put it in boiling water. In fact, while I got this water for boiling, I want to put some of these flax seeds in there so they can be doing this thing. And I'm going to teach y'all how to make a charcoal poultice for those who don't know. And you're going to see what it comes out like when we make it. So you simply do that, and you cut it and you strain it, and you drink the cup. You drink a cup 3 times a day, and this helps with asthma. Okay, the onion do. And we're going to talk more about, yes?
Any particular onion you prefer?
I always prefer the purple, even when I eat, because it has more nutrients than the white onion. A lot of people like the white onion. You got the sweet ones, the Walla Walla, the Videos, and so forth. They're good, but the purple one has more nutrients, phytonutrients. Anything dark in its pigmentation and color has more nutrients, okay? If it seems like I'm talking fast, because an hour goes by quick. All right. So an onion tea, onion poultice, ear infection, onion syrup, onion rub. It helps with fever, respiratory, and flus. Now, let me tell you about the onion. And it's one of my faithful things I go to. My son, he is now 6 years old. Okay? He was born with a cleft lip and palate. And he was born with a cleft lip and palate. And there's a time for doctors. I'm here to tell you that. I'm not against doctors. I'm definitely for go find out what's wrong with you. Okay? They do decently at diagnosing problems. Okay? But once you find out what it is, do your research. If you don't know what else to do naturally, take that which is going to help sustain your life until you figure out what to do naturally. Okay? Let us use wisdom. So, but my son was born with a cleft lip and palate. And so a cleft lip and palate, you know, the eustachian tubes are open. So when they said, your son is going to get infections in his ear. And I was like, well, I don't think he'll get an infection because we won't be breastfeeding. We're not giving him formula and these different things. And so they said you're going to have to get antibiotics for your child probably once a month. And I was like, well, they said we're going to have to put ear tubes in his ears so they can drain the fluid out when it gets in there. I said, we ain't doing this because it's going to make his hearing worse because it's going to scar the tissue of the eardrum. So we knew about the onion. And they wanted to put the ear tubes in, and my wife and I said, no, we're not going to do this, all right? And they said, okay, you'll be in here, you'll see when he started crying, it's an ear infection. I said, okay. So we took him in for a hearing test. He couldn't hear well in one ear. And what was happening is there's some fluid got back there. And they said, do you want the ear tubes now? I said, no. And so I took an onion, my wife and I took this onion, and we cut it right in half, just like this. And I put it in a skillet, like that, face down with nothing else in there, and I put a lid on top of it just to warm up just a little bit. And what I did was I took an ACE bandage. I thought I had one up here. I took an ACE bandage.
It's right there.
Okay, yes, thank you. So I took this ACE bandage. First, I put it in a paper towel like this. Just one layer, not two, because you want it to do its job. So put it in there like that. We put it on his ear like this, and we wrapped his head with ACE bandage. If I don't have an ACE bandage, I use an old t-shirt that he has, and we'll do that. And so we put it on there, and we did it for 3 days. And what had happened when we laid him on this side, the onion pulled the fluid out. It pulls the fluid out, and we took him back, and his hearing was perfect. Never got antibiotics because he never received an infection. Never. There was a lady that had surgery for her daughter, same time our son had surgery, and we went to go, she was always in there more than a month treating her daughter with antibiotics because they had an ear infection. And we decided to go down that road. So the onion works. It works for ear infections. It also works with fever. I had a lady call me Friday night. She has a 2-year-old daughter. The fever was at 103. And so I said, what you can do is, because I told her, she says, it's been on for so long, she said, I don't want to heat her up because it happened once before. She said, what can I do just to get it? I said, okay, if you want to just put the fire out, you just take this, one of these right here, you fill it up with ice cold water and you insert it into the rectum and you put cold water into the rectum to bring down the temperature. Now you stick her in a cold shower, in and out, at 30 seconds at a time. And it will bring it down. And then I said, before this time, what I told her to do, you take the onion and you rub it on her chest. You rub it on her temple, you rub it on her side, and it pulls out inflammation. It pulls the fever, it helps the fever do its job. It begins to draw out that virus that is there. You can rub it on the feet. The feet are very porous. You can put onion on the feet, and it'll also help with it as well. You can put garlic on the feet. You can taste garlic in your mouth if you have good circulation, if it's on your feet. Okay?
Do you heat the onion again?
You
Like
can-
when you're rubbing it on the face and stuff, or is it just a raw onion?
You can warm it. You're not cooking at all. It's just
Right,
slightly
just like
warm.
you did for the ear.
That is
Just
it.
made warm,
Slightly
yeah.
warm. That is all you do. And so this will help with respiratory problems and so forth. The onion is very great, and we use it. That also is in the book. All right. So the horseradish root cough syrup. Now, anybody like horseradish?
Mild.
So I'm gonna cut a piece for you and just let you eat it. Is that okay?
Mild.
So this one, I gotta pay attention to my time here. We're gonna make a few things, but I know people also have questions. So we'll make the Nature's Food Shop. We're not gonna make this one. But horseradish is 3 times stronger than garlic. It's very potent. It's strong. When we have our Gospel Medical Missionary Training School, all our students go on a 3-day cleanse before starting class. They go on a 3-day cleanse. And one thing we have them do a mucus cleanse, and we use horseradish. We'll blend it up and mix with lemon juice, and they take tablespoons of it twice a day along with their green juice. So everybody goes on a juice cleanse in a fast for 3 days, so they can have a clear mind. So when they get the understanding, let me ask you a question: what is the first thing God did with the children of Israel when they came out of Egypt? Anybody know? She said it. He changed their diet. Very first
yeah.
thing. They were used to the flesh pots of Egypt. All the meats and all these different things they would eat, the pork and all these different things they had feasted upon. God changed their diet. He gave them nothing but manna. And after that, you know what he gave them? His law. Because they needed to have a clear mind to understand what it is that he has given. Because the things which we eat clog our brain. It affects our ability to be able to reason and to comprehend certain things. That which we eat is broken down into blood. The blood feeds the brain, okay? And in our brain, we have thoughts. Our thoughts equals actions. Actions equals habits. Habits form character, and character determines your destiny, okay? Do you have God's character, or do you have Satan's character? Next time you go to the grocery store and say, hey, you pick up this item and say, hey, is this going to help me produce the character of God, or is it going to help me go the other way? We must think about what we put into the system. God had designed the system to eat certain foods, and he gave that, and we find that in Genesis, okay? Now, Nebuchadnezzar, anybody know about Nebuchadnezzar?
Yeah.
Nebuchadnezzar was called to eat grass for 7 years. He put Nebuchadnezzar on a detox. Straight grass, and he ate. And then at the end of it, it said Nebuchadnezzar was in his right mind. God has wisdom. He knows why he gave us the vegetables. We don't like them. We won't eat them. All of our food is acidic and fried. Even baked. We need less cooked food and more live food. At least 75 to 80% live food, because that is alkaline and it has live enzymes. When you cook the food, you begin to lose the enzymes. One thing you want to cook is your cruciferous vegetables. That is your carrots, that is your broccoli, that is your kale, that is your collard leaves, that is your Swiss chard, that is your cabbage. Those are cruciferous because the body cannot break them down to absorb the nutrients out of them, so you slightly blanch them. You don't cook them to a mush, you just blanch them briefly, and you can be able to, carrots you got to cook a little longer. And so your body can pull the nutrients out of those foods. What happens is those little slivers in those raw cruciferous vegetables poke holes in the stomach lining, which is only a cell thick. a cell thick and leaches into the bloodstream, and you can develop food allergies. So you don't want that. All right?
That's why you cook the fishery.
Huh? Yes, your
That's why you
cruciferous.
cook-
Yes, of
That's
course.
why you cook that.
That's
okay?
right.
All right. So
Yes.
no raw carrots. We've always fed them to our kids.
Yeah, you don't want
cheat
raw
on them.
Right. You know, they're good, you know, but it's just to get the proper nutrients out of it, you have to break down the rough texture.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, what about if you juice, like with using kale?
Yeah, that's fine. You can do that. It's just extracting the juice.
Okay, so
Yeah.
as far as eating it raw, then
Yeah.
you need to.
Yeah. So juicing is good when you're doing that for this different disease and your body is sick to help bring healing, as I said earlier. Diabetics, you have to be careful with, even with juicing green things, because you gotta understand is that the fiber is moved. And therefore, you have that you have the glucose that's in there. It's just left in the juice, and it can spike the blood sugar. But to help counteract that, you juice them green beans. Okay? Somebody had their hand
So
up.
you can't put a carrot in a smoothie and be good with it?
Well, I mean, I never put a carrot in a smoothie. I never had a carrot smoothie. But you know, if you slightly
Only way to
blanch
get
it
the
and then
husband to
blend
eat
it, it'll be
something.
fine, huh?
Only way to get something in my husband because he won't eat. He's too in a hurry to go to work.
Well,
So the carrot really isn't helping him if I steam
just
it.
blanch it. I mean, steam it a little bit.
Before I put it in.
Yeah, and then you put it in. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Back there in the back.
But what about juicing a carrot?
Yes, you can juice a carrot. Okay? You can juice a carrot, it's good. Juicing when we're healing is good. Let's talk about the potato for a minute. So, potato helps with diarrhea, indigestion, heartburn, gastric ulcers, inflammation, poultice, and hemorrhoid. I like the potato. I use it for my son. My son, his favorite animal is a cheetah. And so one day he was running around the house like he was a cheetah and think he was fast, and he ran into the edge of the desk. Put this big knot on his head, and it was green and purple. So what I did, I just took the potato and, did they bring my grater? I guess not. So I have a grater, and then we just shredded and grated the potato. And we put it on another paper towel just like this, and we shredded it, and we put the shreds on there, and we put it on the knot that night. The next morning, the knot was gone, the color was gone. What had happened is, when you cut a potato, I'm going to go ahead and cut and shape the french fry because we're going to need that here in just a moment. So, what happens is when you cut the potato, anybody know what happens when you cut a potato? Start oxidizing. Right. So what happens is that as it's oxidizing, it's pulling in oxygen and letting off the carbon. Okay? Pulling oxygen out the carbon. It's pulling out the inflammation. Potatoes are good for pulling out inflammation. Works very well. Now let's talk about for indigestion. You have heartburns. All you do is take your potato, you can slice it in rounds. Slice it in rounds like this. And you put it in a glass of water. Just you can put it in a cup and you let it sit overnight. And the starches from the potato would seep into the water. And what would happen is that you take the potatoes out and you drink the starchy water. It helps with the indigestion, the heartburns that you are receiving. So the potato is good for that. Now, potato we also said is good for hemorrhoids. Okay? You ain't gotta raise your hand, but if you ever had a hemorrhoid, you know what they like. They inflame, they sore, sometimes they stick out. The potato, you just simply take the potato and you coat it with some olive oil and you insert it into your rectum. And so what would happen is that the inflammation will be drawn out by the oxidation of the potato. It'll pull out the inflammation and begin to shrink it. In addition to that, you can take you a lemon. All right, you take you a lemon, and what you can do is you just cut your lemon in half. I'll go ahead and do this because we're going to be using the lemon anyway. And I'm going to need somebody to help me in a few minutes, okay? So you take the lemon and you spread the cheeks. If you can't do it, have your husband, have your wife, whoever it is that's close to you. Squeeze the juice right on there. What happens when you drink lemon juice? What happens to your mouth? Puckers. Okay? So it's astringent. And so what happens is it will begin to draw in the hemorrhoid that is sticking out. Now there are some where hemorrhoids are so bad. They are so bad some have to get surgery and get them taken care of. But if you want to stop the bleeding of the hemorrhoid, you simply do cayenne pepper. Okay? It's a fact. Cayenne pepper, we'll talk about it in a minute, but it stops bleeding. And we'll talk about that. Since we're talking about the gastric, I'll talk about it on the cabbage. I'll talk about it on cabbage. I'll do that. So the potatoes are good for those things right there. Good information for you. Make a pulse out, you can shred it and do it and put it on the location. It'll begin to draw out the inflammation. It is very good for that.
Your pot is boiling. Do you want it?
Oh, thank you.
down.
I appreciate it. We don't want it to burn on fire, but I do need something to stir it with. Now, what is this right here? They got something here.
There's a spot.
I like something. Got something metal. I don't want to use some plastic. I'm gonna use this. I'll watch that. All right. So what I'm doing here is, oh, sorry. Sorry.
Get out your way.
No problem. So what I'm doing, I'm boiling flax seeds. I'm boiling the flax seeds, and anybody know what happens to flax seeds when you begin to boil it?
Yeah.
Looks like okra. Anybody like okra? All right. So thank you for turning it down. We just wanted to get a little bit more gooey.
Were those whole flax seeds?
There was whole flax seeds. You can do ground or you can do whole. I like doing the whole like that and turn it into like a slimy substance because it holds better and you can store it longer. The other one dry out too quick.
So you
Does
just
that make
need
a
to do that
difference on
one more.
the flexi?
No, it doesn't make any
Gold.
whether it's the light or whether it's the dark one. The golden or the brown, doesn't matter.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about the lemon, nature's flu shot. I need somebody's help real quick. Who would like to cut some lemons for me? And somebody like to cut a lemon for me? You right here, you like to, well, since you're right here, can you do some garlic for me? I need this whole bulb of garlic broken up right here.
You want a lemon?
Now you can do the garlic.
Okay.
And I need somebody to come over here and do a lemon for me. Is that all right? While they're doing that, we'll go on to something else. And I would like to put it in the blender when you do it. Okay? So we take this here.
You want this whole one?
The whole thing.
The whole.
That's right. So you can take this here and we've got to use the tablecloth next. It might be a little dirty. So here's this. Now what I want you to do is these are big lemons here. So we typically use 6 lemons, but since these are so big, we'll use 4. Okay? So all I need is the lemon's peel of its peel.
Sure.
Okay? We're gonna put everything in the blender. The lemon, you can take the seeds out if you want, it just makes it a little bit more bitter. But you can put the seeds in it, it ain't gonna hurt you. There are certain seeds that are good for you. You got vitamins in them that you need, like avocado seeds you can eat. They're very bitter, but it's got good vitamins in it. Anybody had jackfruit? Jackfruit, you got some good seeds. You boil the seeds, they taste like potatoes. They're pretty good. So the Nature's Flu Shot is 1 bulb of garlic, okay? Not a clove, 1 bulb. All right, 6 fresh lemons. In our case, we're doing 4. We're doing raw ginger. Okay, so you do about a tablespoon size of raw ginger. And when you do that, you can cut this, you can peel this one here for me, please. And then you have a fresh pineapple or pineapple juice. We're just going to use pineapple juice. We're going to pour that in there. We'll use 1 of those. And then you have cayenne pepper. Who likes cayenne pepper? Cayenne pepper is good. Now I have right here 160,000 heat units. This is not what you find on your table. Okay? So cayenne pepper. And you got honey to your discretion. So we got honey. We're going to add those things in there. We're going to blend all the ingredients thoroughly and store in a glass jar. You take about a cup every 3 to 4 hours, just before bed.
Can you make the skin of the lemon?
No.
The rind?
If I was making the Nature's Penicillin, we would use the whole grapefruit. That includes the skin. But we don't use the lemon here. So we're gonna make this and we're gonna have some people taste it who'd like to taste it. Yes.
Your recipe for this, is it in your book?
Yes, it's in the book.
Okay, good. I'll stop writing because most of it is in the book.
Yes.
Right? Okay. All right. I'm trying to squeeze it.
You need 2 more. 2 more lemons.
I guess what I'm asking is it harmful to eat the rind of a lemon?
No, it's not. It's not harmful. It has definitely, especially the white part is the best part
Right.
of it. It has great properties, nutrition for the body to help to heal different diseases. A lot of people don't like it's the bitter thing. You know, it's the bitter herbs that God told a lot of them in the Bible they should be eating. They should take for medicine because bitter herbs heal the body. And we learn obedience from the things which we suffer. Okay. That's what we must realize. All right.
My daughter, when she was small, used to have a lot of bloody noses for no reason. And they had me give her, when I peel an orange, leave most of the white on it, on the orange, so it would stop the bleeding. I guess it's vitamin K.
Yep.
It also good for headaches.
We're gonna get there.
Okay.
You're getting ahead of me. But remember, they ascertain the cause. Why do I have a headache? All right, so cough syrup. This is a simple cough syrup. Honey, onion, garlic. So how you do it, I didn't bring an empty jar. I usually bring an empty jar and give it to somebody, after we make it. But you take a jar like this. This has charcoal in it. We're going to use for that. How's that boiling over there?
It's not boiling.
It's not boiling. It's turned down to 2. All right, so how's it getting gooey? There you go. Let's do a little bit more. Don't let me forget about it, all right?
Okay.
All right.
How long do you want to keep going?
Probably for another 3-4 minutes.
All right.
So what you do is it's simple. You take onion, you cut it up, dice it up, put onion in, or you can do rings. Put an onion in, then you put honey in. Okay? Then you put your garlic diced in. Then you put honey in. Then you put your garlic diced in, you put your lemon in. You do it all the way up to the top, layer it like that, and you shake it all up. And it can stay out for a long time because the honey helps preserve it. You put it in the refrigerator as well. You let it sit. The juices from the onion and from the garlic will seep into the honey and it become a syrup. And it's good for cough as a cough syrup instead of the stuff that you normally buy in the store. It has all the stuff in it. And so it works well.
That's in that book too?
Yes.
Okay.
So everything I'm saying here is in the book.
Okay.
And if it's not in the book, I'll let you know.
Okay.
All right, so that's that. Let me know when y'all finish. We're going to start blending.
Done.
You done? All right, you can put everything in here. All right, so here's the headache thing. So the headache here is cayenne pepper and ginger powder. Cayenne pepper and ginger powder. So what we're going to do is we are going to do this here. So you simply take, would anybody like to try this? All right, so we got our ginger powder. Make sure I give you ginger powder, not golden seal. And you got your cayenne pepper. All right? Now, I always said I had something, but I just used this. I got some measuring spoons.
Right, no, I didn't touch the lemon. If anybody wants to try it, I made sure that I only used the end of a peel to touch it with, like this, and the knife. So
So what we're going to do is, it's enough potent stuff in here to boost your immune system.
I know,
Now, whatever they have on their hands. We die from being too sanitized.
I know. I'm a nerd, I know.
So,
Just
this
when
is
you go to the
quarter.
bathroom, wash your hands.
Yeah, there you go.
Or
Right
touch
there.
the knob.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to put about a half of a teaspoon of ginger powder in here and put a fourth of cayenne pepper in the water. Matter of fact, I may put less. All right. So I'll put less in there. And what we're going, you know what? I'm gonna help y'all out. Not give you water. I'm gonna give you pineapple juice. Is that okay?
It's probably looking pretty mean.
So we give you pineapple juice. And what we're going to do is you only get very little. It's going to be potent. Let me use my spoon here. We're going to stir it up. And this, what helps it do, cayenne pepper helps dilate the blood vessels. Okay, we're going to talk about it in a minute about stopping heart attacks. Okay, so we have dilated the blood vessels, and so does the ginger powder. And you have a headache because you have a congestion of blood in one area. And the pressure needs to be relieved. And so you need to dilate those blood vessels so the blood can circulate properly. Another way you can do it is do a hot foot bath. This will cause the blood to come down to where the warmth is, and the blood will circulate. Okay, so who wants to try this? All right, we're going to do a few of them. How about that? I saw my hand first.
I have a headache. Thank you.
All right, we're going to do a few. As much as pineapple juice we got. How about that? Because we got to use the other one for the drink. All right, ginger powder. So one thing is this, is that cayenne pepper will find if you have a problem, okay? If you have a problem in your chest, it's going to find it. You're going to feel it. If you have a problem in your head, there's a slight blockage, it's going to find it. Okay? Problem in your stomach, it's going to find it. That's what it's going to do.
Does it make like ulcers burn if it gets into your stomach?
Oh, we're going to talk about that in just a moment. No,
Okay.
I'm going to talk about it in just a moment. Matter of fact, I can talk about it
You
now.
want this stuff over
I'm paying
there?
attention to my time. I got
Just
this.
in with the-
Let's put that there. Okay,
Just the whole thing?
the whole thing.
You're about
Got some
time.
ginger there.
Huh?
You're
Okay,
about
good.
time.
Good, thank you, thank you. And we're gonna pour this on inside.
Well, we don't want that one, yeah.
I think he did it in reverse.
You think I put too much cayenne pepper? All right.
Do you have salt to pass around, help with the spice?
Well, I did help you out a little bit. I gave you some pineapple juice at least, you know. I'm gonna help some.
I gotta put cayenne pepper in those.
You got help? I'm gonna go ahead.
Veggie caps.
I'm gonna go ahead and put you some cayenne pepper in this drink here. All right. And we got ginger, garlic,
Lemon.
lemon, cayenne pepper. We need honey. Am I missing anything else? Those who took notes?
Add extra honey.
Add extra honey. We add extra honey. Now this is not making much, all right? So not everybody probably gonna be able to taste it. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Let me just step back here for a moment. All right. Okay. Here we go. So garlic, lemon, ginger, pineapple juice. Okay, honey, we good. All right. So now.
Did you ask first?
Yeah, we didn't do that one. Okay, and we should be there. Right
Come to the booth.
All right, so we're gonna blend this up.
Alright.
It's gonna be a little loud. Always have a good blender, all right? Vitamix, Blend Tech. Vitamix. I'm putting less cayenne in here. Who was it? Yeah, she want her mama to have it. Your mama? All right, your mama, I got to pay you back, mama. All right, good.
10 minutes left.
Thank you.
Just 10 minutes.
All right, Dave. One, I got 10 minutes left. So.
Where did you learn all of this?
I went to school. It's called Wildwood College of Health Evangelism. And that's where I went. And I went to another school after that called Centurion Bible School of Health. And that was in Tennessee, and the other one was in Georgia. And then just doing other stuff on my own.
We'll see how, he can have his cayenne for so hot.
Say it again.
He needs it more than I do.
Need more than you do? He must know you.
I'm just watching her still cook over there.
Oh, so you're gonna be sweating now. You're gonna sweat. All right. So we're gonna do this here.
It burns my tongue.
So this right here, I made this for my wife before she was my wife. Let me put less. So let's put this on. Huh?
She's her wife.
She's my wife now. So she's my wife after this. But so what happened was she had the flu, and I gave her this, and she couldn't go to class. The next day she was out, the flu was gone. Okay.
I want one, yeah, I'd like to.
Okay.
Especially since you gotta put the garlic on.
Okay.
And it's the whole day.
All right. Can I get somebody to pull these and kind of spread out so I can continue on because my time is short? Thank you. It's only gonna be a little bit in each one for those who want it. All right. So I'm continuing on. I said I was gonna get to something. Who has something back there?
He wants a drink.
He wants drink. Okay. So she's gonna serve it to you. Are those?
Okay.
And somebody had something that I said I'm getting to it. It was the headache, right? So we did that. All right, good.
I'll take one.
Oh, so stopping bleeding. So cayenne pepper, it stops bleeding. My wife, I don't know why, I don't know if it's a woman thing or not, but they seem to cut themselves a lot in the kitchen. Couple more cups. And so they seem to cut themselves a lot in the kitchen. So It was one day, it was before we went to church, and somehow she was getting something out of the dish rack, and the S blade for the food processor fell out, and she tried to catch it. So it slid her hand like this. And I said, uh-oh, you know what that means? Cayenne pepper time. So we dumped the cayenne pepper in there, and it stung a little bit, but it stopped the bleeding. Cayenne pepper stops bleeding. I had a lady, I did this presentation in California, and a lady was just sitting there, she was waiting and waiting to talk to me afterwards, and she says to me, I am bleeding out of my rectum. She says, I have stomach ulcers. And so I explained to her what the issue is, what's going on. I asked her how I did assessment. I said I did assessment with her over the phone later on, and she filled a health assessment form to send it back. And I told her what she needs to do. I said you need to drink cabbage juice and potato juice. This will help heal the stomach lining. This will help heal the ulcers that are there. And so it forms it's a mucosal lining that lines the stomach and the esophagus. It heals. At the same time, take cayenne pepper. The cayenne pepper will stop the bleeding in your rectum. 3 weeks later, she called me. She says, the bleeding has stopped. I can't believe it. And she says, I don't have the pain in my stomach and in my colon anymore. And so what I told her to remove was the wheat, the sugar, and the corn. Definitely irritate the gut. And
So is this in your book too?
What, this, that there? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, what you're just saying.
Yes, that's in there. So
Okay.
peach leaf tea. I don't have any peach leaves, but peaches grow here. Good for gastrointestinal problems. And so you want to have any gastrointestinal problems, you steep the tea, the leaves, the peach leaves, and you drink it. This will help also with menstrual cramps. Ladies, if you have menstrual cramps, those who are still having them, this will help relieve that as well. Grapefruit would also help relieve menstrual cramps. You eat 2 of these a day. So this will help circulate the blood. The reason why you have the cramps is because there's congestion of blood in one area of the body. And you want to open up the blood vessels and get the blood flowing. Exercising is good. You might not feel like it, but go for a good walk. Eat your grapefruit. Clothe yourself properly. The body likes to have equally warmth. It doesn't want to be cold in one part of the body because the blood will draw back and go back to the core of the body where it's warm. That causes damage on the body. That's why you have a lot of children that suffer from nosebleeds and things like that, because the blood is congesting in one area and the body wants to circulate that blood. All right. So iron tonic. I was going to make this, but we don't have the time. So we got 4 ounces of blackstrap molasses, which you have here. Blackstrap molasses. You got dried apricots. You got wild cherry concentrate, which is here. You got prunes, which we saw already. We got a quart jar of grape juice. This is my homemade grape juice here. We did our own grape juice. And you drink it. You must refrigerate it immediately. If not, you made yourself some alcohol. And we don't want to pour it in the system, all right? We don't want to pour it in the system. So you put it in the refrigerator. So this will boost the count of the iron account. Now, if your body has a problem absorbing iron, you want it with something that is like a lemon, something that's acidic, and so it can break down and help the body to absorb the iron. Okay, so if lentils have iron, if you put cabbage in your lentils, the cabbage itself is a healthy acid, like almost like lemon. It's very citrusy, and even though you can't really taste the citrus like that, but it helps absorb the iron. Garlic enema. Okay, garlic enema. If you have high blood pressure, you just simply take garlic and you boil it. After the water has cooled off, you put it in one of these. These are fleet enema bottles. You can pour out what's in there and use it. You insert it into the rectum, and you allow the person to retain the garlic tea in the rectum. Garlic will bring down the blood pressure immediately. If taking this thing in your rectum, you have a portal vein. The portal vein absorbs things into the body rather quickly. If you have somebody that can't eat and can't digest, they're starving and they're not eating, you can feed them to the rectum. And they go into the system rather quickly. Okay? So garlic will help with extreme high blood pressure. If you have high blood pressure but not extreme, you can just eat at least 5 cloves of garlic. Okay? And this will help regulate the blood. And
Instead of being on the blood pressure pills,
That's
then
right.
you have a garlic a day.
Same thing.
A clove a day.
Let's talk grapefruit, high cholesterol. If you have high cholesterol, you're having blockage. It helps eats away, it lowers the cholesterol, and it eats away the plaque that is built up. Your cholesterol medication ain't gonna do that. it's going to thin the blood. Grapefruit thins the blood. That's why they say don't eat grapefruit when you're
That's
taking
exactly
when
why.
you're taking
Blood
blood pressure medication. Yes.
What I do is I peel the grapefruit and I put it in the blender and make like a grapefruit juice. It
Good.
does the same thing?
Same thing. Good.
Okay.
So it'll help eat away the plaque that's clogging the arteries as well. Okay. And not, it's going to eat away the blockage. The body can get high cholesterol from eating meat. Only thing that has cholesterol is something that has a liver. Okay? Anything that has a liver has cholesterol. You can get high cholesterol from not drinking enough water. Because if the blood is so sluggish, it scars the endothelial cells of the blood vessels because the blood is so thick and it scars it. And so the body calls out to send out the asphalt to patch the potholes, in which is cholesterol. And then to patch it. And if you keep, and the blood is so thick, you keep knocking the patch off, it's going to keep producing more cholesterol to patch that area. And before you know it, you get a blockage. The body is trying to survive. Okay? I got to do one more. Garlic oil is good for ear infections. But I want to do this right here. I'm not going to talk about cabbage. Somebody's talking about cabbage, good for arthritis pains. You know, just briefly, you peel your leaves off and you bruise them. And by you bruise them, the juices come out, it begins to oxidize, it begins to turn brown. The same thing like potato, it draws inflammation. Anybody know anybody that was bruised for our iniquities? And by his stripes we are healed? So the bruising has to take place of the cabbage in order to help heal the body. It's good for that. I got one more thing, okay? And I want to volunteer. Anybody want to volunteer for something they don't know what it is? So cayenne pepper stops heart attack in 30 to 60 seconds. It opens the blood vessels. We talked about garlic already. Fig poultice, I can't get into it right now, but you find it in the Bible, helps heal tumors of cancer.
Honestly.
I wanted to show y'all how, it's in the book, we show you how to make fig poultice. We talked about grapefruit and aloe vera, good for many things. Okay? All right, lemon honey eye drops. Cataracts, glaucoma.
Yes.
Anybody want to try it?
Yes.
Yes.
Who wants it in the eye?
Oh.
Who wants to administer it into the person's eye? Who's done it before?
But I wanted that.
All right. Who wants to give it to her? Who wants to give it to her? You
Because
want to
I'm
give it
not
to her?
afraid to put drops in the eye.
All right. So the lemon, the healing properties are in your tears. The enzymes in the tear eats away the plaque if you have dry eyes because you have a blockage in the tear ducts. And it eats away your enzymes in your tears, eats away the plaque. And so that's what you want to do. So the treatment is there already in there. This helps stimulates the tear ducts as well with honey. It eats away your enzymes in your tear. It eats away the cataracts that are forming around your eyes. The body's just trying to protect
I don't
itself.
have to have surgery now.
You don't have to. And so you do this for 21 days or as needed. Lemon in one eye in the morning, in both eyes in the morning, and 1 drop of honey in each eye in the night before you go to bed. I'm letting you know it stings a little.
Oh, yeah.
The honey stings worse. But it only lasts for like 15 seconds with the lemon, 30 seconds or something like that, and maybe about 40 seconds with the honey. Yes.
Okay, so would it also help it's called a lacrimal duct blockage?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So lemon in the morning and
Honey in the night.
and
Yep.
then you melt the honey. And you just let it.
You just squeeze it in, or you can use you can use, put it in a jar, juice it, and use droppers. Okay?
Okay, a juicer. Okay.
All right.
About castor oil in the eyes.
Thank you.
for cataracts.
So you are going to cry.
I know.
Yeah, I hope you have honey at home for tonight.
All right. Anybody else want to try? Here you go. Anybody else?
Yeah, I think
Don't be
I will.
afraid.
Yeah, I'm not afraid.
You learn obedience for the things which you suffer. I'm here to tell you. Here you go. Anybody else? All right. Get here. Are you crying over there? Back.
I know.
It's not even in my eye.
You ready?
How long do you have to keep it in your eye?
How long what?
How long do you have to keep that juice in your eye?
Oh, it stimulates the sugar. It's going to come out as you cry. It's going to make you cry.
Okay.
Now, how long would you do something like this?
21 days or as needed.
Okay.
We had a lady
I'm
take
getting
up.
rid of my cataract.
We had a lady get our book. She did it for 21 days, and as needed, she after it was done, her cataract was gone. She called us and she was excited. She was like, "The cataract is gone."
And why do the honey?
The honey does the same thing.
Oh, just the same thing.
Yes.
It's just you do that at night.
more
you
strong,
let it
yeah.
in the morning, and
Anybody else? Anybody else? All right.
Can you tell me if castor
Yeah,
oil
this is in the
works?
Remedies.
Castor oil also works. You want to use castor oil? I'm gonna let you do it yourself.
Is that the internal or external?
Castor oil, external in your eye. Castor oil will work as well.
External, okay, because
Thank you.
what about, is this all in the book?
All in the book.
Everything is.
Everything in the book. You go to the booth out here. The book is there. Disease and kitchen remedies. My wife and I put it together.
Thank you.
So if you have any questions, when you see me out there, feel free to talk to me. You want to do a consultation or something like that, talk to me. What I wanted to do is just briefly remind you really quick of, so you got God's plan and you got man's plan. We pick and choose. He said, "I set before you life and death, blessings and curses, therefore choose life, that you may live, both thou and thy seed may live." So God has set before us life and death, all right? So remember, beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospers, okay? Can you watch your head for a moment? You can find these flyers. We're doing a 10-day detox program. It's a live-in. You'll be there for 10 days, and you can do a detox program, okay? You can find out more about it. You get the flyer. You can scan the QR code and take you to the website, or you can put the website in, okay? Medical missionary training. We're going to be starting the medical missionary training back up next year, not this year. It's a 4-month school where you learn how to do this stuff, okay? You're so welcome. Have a blessed day.
Thank you.